That could have been better. Let's do some more character drawings. Hey everybody, and welcome back again to Art a la Carte and another video where I take your original characters and draw them in my own style. If you're curious how you can get your character possibly drawn in my style, stick around in this video and I'll talk about it in a little bit. But for this round, I chose 3 different characters. I got them all off Twitter this time. Usually I always go to Instagram. Instagram's kind of my place to head first. But today I was like, let's go to Twitter first. So all 3 of them came from my Twitter. So if you haven't followed me on Twitter or Instagram, I will put a link in the hashtag below. If you are new to this challenge, this is kind of a takeoff on my 100 character draw challenge where I drew 100 original characters. It took me over a year to complete them. I have it all in a huge playlist if you want to watch that. But it was so much fun drawing characters that I decided to continue on, but with a twist. And this is your characters reimagined in my style. First of all, thanks everyone who has submitted your characters for the challenge. It has been so fun to look at them all, and it has been a really big challenge to pick just, 3 or 4 characters to do. In fact, the last one I did was in a live stream. You can kind of see a little bit of the bleed work on the page before that, and I only got to do one of them because I was live streaming the whole thing. As you can see, these are pretty sped up. On average, it takes me about 45 minutes to do each one of these characters if I'm not interrupted and I can focus. The creator of this character is Carissa Barkman. Here, so you can see what the original character was. For all 3 of the characters that I chose on this one are fabulous character designs. I loved them. So this character here, again, for those of you who don't know, when people submit their characters, I want them to tell me as little as possible about what their character is, like their personality, their backstory, whether they're good guys or bad guys, even their names. It was little information just because I want to see what your character inspires me to think of. For one, this is a really good way to evaluate your character design to see if your character is really reading the emotions or the personality that you want. It kind of helps you out. So this character here is not a human, but a kind of a humanoid character. This character has these great horns that wrap around kind of like goat horns. And I realize I've never done a character with goat horns before. I've done antlers, but not goat horns. They were so much fun. I loved the expression in this character. I loved the feel of this character. But above all, I loved the costume design. This costume design was spot on. The thing that makes a character really good, aside from just the facial features and the hairstyles, is to give them something that is super unique. Like, if I saw this character drawn in any kind of style, I would know this character. If this character was drawn as a hard-boiled egg with this costume on, I would know this character because the costume is very unique and distinct and has a great amount of personality. Let me draw your attention to a few of the parts that I found particularly interesting. One is the detail on the horn. So there's this ornate gold, and you'll see it as I continue the coloring process here, but it's got really good decoration on her horns. And then on her costume itself, which is really simple, it's not over the top and it's not far-fetched. I kind of see this character as a minstrel kind of character. She goes out, plays music, travels from village to village. That's kind of a vagabond character, but really knows her way around, and perhaps maybe someone is hiring her to lead them to a remote village, and so that's what she's going to do. But her costume is feasible for travel. She's not wearing this, chainmail bikini to go fight battles, or, a ball gown to cross the desert. The cloak itself has a lot of great detail. As you'll see it later on, it's got this really simplistic design at the bottom with these little kind of hills and dots at the bottom, but it gives it a really great personality and makes it super unique. Also, there's some really intricate details, some embroidery on the sash that she's wearing, and even some work on the patch that's on her pants. She got the patch off of some nicer piece of fabric. I loved the amount of jewelry that this character had. Again, not over the top, just the perfect amount to make this character unique. I'm really curious about this. I'm actually really curious about all three characters that I chose. But if the original creator of this character is watching, please let me know in the comment section below. What is her backstory? I would love to hear it. Or you can like message me on Twitter or Instagram and tell me, because I want to know her story. That's how good this character is. Like, if you wrote a book about it, I would want to be reading it. Let's move on to the next character. So for this one, it was a very soft palette, and I loved the line art on this character, especially the hair. You nailed the line art on your character design. So great. So I wanted to recreate this character using a really soft palette, but then push myself a little bit for the kind of the cage-like skirt. I didn't really have a darker color for that to, I don't know, I kind of see her as a trapped character, and it could be because of the cage-like skirt makes me think of someone who's kind of trapped. So for the first step was to actually create a position for the character that would kind of make me think of like royalty, or, you know, some fair maiden who appears to be delicate and also kind of disconnected from the world. And you really see that. I really tried to convey that in her expression in her face. It's really kind of a blank expression. I didn't put a lot of detail into like the pupils, just the faded iris shade. But you'll see more of that when it gets to the actual coloring part. I also did something different with this character that I don't do in most of my characters, which is I didn't outline it first. I went ahead and after I finished the like pencil work, I went straight into coloring it. And part of me likes it because it did keep it very soft, but part of me, I missed being able to get that nice line work, which is what originally drew me to the character design in the first place. So it was kind of a give and take. It depends on what style you're going for, but you'll definitely see a difference in this style, especially this style compared to my third drawing, which I do a nice outline with. Another thing I wanted to do was to give her a more delicate look to her costume. So I made it a little bit shorter in the underskirt and then made it a really light fabric. And I wanted it to look like it was playing with the light. So as I colored it, I wanted to have a nice silhouette of where her legs would be, but then allow some light to kind of filter through the fabric itself to make it look like it's more of a gauzy material rather than a heavy, thick material. I also did this with the sleeves. In the original sketch, the sleeves are not transparent, but I wanted to give them a transparent look, so I actually drew the arm outline in the actual sketch, and then when I colored it in, I colored the arm part a darker shade. It looks like it's see-through. Now, I always get questions about the tools and things that I use in my drawings. So the sketchbook I'm using is my Alias sketchbook. Love that sketchbook. I have a video on that, and you can find that in my video archives. And as far as the drawing tools, for the first one and the second one, I'm using a Cool Erase color pencil, which is fabulous. It erases beautifully. In the third one, I change it up and I use my Enos mechanical pencil, which does not erase as well, but I still like to draw with it. For coloring it, obviously I'm using my alcohol-based markers, and then going in with my Prismacolor colored pencils to add in some sharpened shadows and highlights and things like that. And then I have a few different gel pens that I'm using to add some highlights and sparkles. The original creator for this character was Ansu the Darkness. Thank you for submitting your character design. So my idea for her, again, is that she's kind of like a princess character, but she's always been very controlled by whoever it is who is like her master or her guardian. They always keep her locked away, and so she just has always disconnected herself from the world around her. But I feel if she ever made a true friend, that she has a really strong personality inside that's just waiting to bubble out. At the end of this, I did go back in with a purple, oh, what pencil did I use? My purple Copic multi-liner, and did outline a few things. Because I'd already gone through and done a bunch of color pencil work, there was kind of a wax buildup, which these liners don't like to work on top of color pencils as well, so it didn't have as crisp of a line as I wanted to. But then again, I also wanted to have that soft and floaty and airy kind of feel to it. Before we move on to the last and final character, I just wanted to let you guys know how you can submit your character design. You can send your pictures to me on Instagram and Twitter, tag me in your photos, also using the hashtag @AlaOCD. Original character design is a great way for me to find them. I unfortunately can't do every single character that is given to me, so I'm looking for designs that just grab my attention and make me want to draw them. So if I don't pick your character the first time, you can always try another design of it and resubmit it to me. Okay, let's move on to the last and final character. This character design was given to me by Catherine, and this redrawing of the character design I feel is the farthest from probably what your character is. When I finished it, I felt it was like someone cosplaying as your character and not your actual character. The original character design, if you look at the picture that she made, is a very stoic character. She looks like, you know, she's a warrior, she's tough, she's serious. She's got a little smile to her face, but you know, more like mess with me and I'm gonna mess you up. Whereas the character that I'm designing is this, I don't know, it's the Pinkie Pie to you know, Twilight Sparkles. So she is just dancing and grooving and smiling and happy and chipper. But I could not stop myself. Once I started working with the drawing that I was having, it had to happen. I couldn't stop it. I don't know. Have you guys ever done that? You have a distinct thing that you're trying to draw, and then when you get to that actual moment where you're drawing it, it's like veering completely in a completely different direction. You're like, no, this is not what I was setting out to draw. But you can't stop it because it's just turning out to be a good drawing. So this is what it is. In my mind, this is the original character's twin sister. So she's kind of opposite to what the original character is. She's goofy and silly and bubbly and full of personality, hopefully. But first of all, I loved the position that I chose for this. And once I started drawing this, like, I have to keep doing with this. I can't stop myself. Again, I switched out what I'm initially sketching with. I went with a mechanical pencil this time. And I do that a lot. Some people have like the set supplies that they use. They always use this pencil to sketch and always use this ink pen to ink things in and always use these markers to color with. I'm all over the board when it comes to creating. Sometimes I draw with pencil, sometimes I have a mechanical pencil, sometimes I use crayons, whatever. I mix it up because it just makes it fresh and new for me. So that's why I'm doing this. But I will say the Enos mechanical pencils do not erase as well as the Cool Erase color pencils. So if you're looking for one that erases pretty well, go with the regular pencil. And I will have links in the description box below, all the tools and supplies that I'm using. Hopefully I will remember. And thank you for the people that commented in the last video that I said I was going to list the things and I totally forgot, for reminding me, because sometimes I forget and I really like it when you guys remind me, so yay! I want to do a video or maybe a video series on creating poses that have motion and action into them. For the longest time, I struggled with getting a character that looked like they were actually in motion. Most of my characters were stiff, they looked like statues, they looked really awkward, and I would see these artists and they would draw these characters and it looked like they were frozen in time, like they were like in mid action, and I just captured it. Some of them had so much motion in them that they actually looked like they were moving in the picture. And I wanted that. So I studied and practiced and practiced and practiced, and I kind of got it. Like some days I have it and some days I don't. Some of my drawings are just not there. This one was definitely one that I feel has a lot of motion to it. So if you'd like to see a video where I kind of talk about the process that I went through to learn how to put motion into my drawings, it may or may not work for you, but it's what worked for me. If you'd like to see a video like that, let me know in the comment section below, or any other kind of video. I have been doing, for this month, Tutorial Tuesdays, where I take your guys' suggestions for tutorial videos and I have you guys vote on them, and the most popular vote wins, and then I do a tutorial on that. So far we've done a video on backgrounds, which has been really fun, and then I did just a few days ago did one on dragons and how to draw a fire-breathing dragon. If you haven't checked those videos out, I will put links to those in the description box below. Also, remember to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any of these videos. And thank you guys, everyone who has been watching and commenting and liking and subscribing, and of course sharing these videos with your friends and family. It is helping my channel out so much and I appreciate it a ton. So now let's get back to this character. Well, originally I kind of thought them as like they lived in these tribes, and their tribes were either could control elements or were protectors of an element. And because of like the costuming design, it looked like they lived in a hot place. So at first I was thinking they were like desert people, fire elements. But the more I began drawing this character and her flowy personality and the way her hair was kind of flowing, and then the beautiful sash that she has on her and the intricate embroidery work that she has on her pants, which again, fabulous character design. That's why I feel it's part of a tribe, because it has like a design that would be unique to a group of people. Like there could be some variances like a skirt or pants, things like that, but they could have that similar design. So awesome job on that. But as I began working further with this, I began to think maybe they weren't so much fire element people, maybe they were more like water. And in the end, I decided they were an oasis tribe. They lived in the desert, but they lived in an oasis, and maybe it's a magical oasis and they have to protect it. The original character design, as I was looking closer at the sketch, there's either scars on her or some sort of tattooing, but she definitely has this scar across her face, maybe, which I love. You guys, there's not enough people that like draw scars or tattoos on their characters. We always keep them so clean and pristine. I need to push myself to do more personality like that. I loved that. That tells a story that makes you want to find out what happened to that person that they have this scar across their face. So it made me think that maybe she had been in a battle. Also, her hands are all bandaged. Maybe she was fighting a fire tribe and got burnt. I don't know. Those are just some of my thoughts. So again, if the original creator, if you are watching this, please let us know in the comments below. What is her story? Here it is, my finished design for this character. I ended up putting a dark circle behind her. It kind of helped pop out. I really had a lot of fun with this drawing. I loved them all, but this one I think was my favorite. That favorite one that turned out. So let me know, which one was your favorite? 1, 2, or 3? Well guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me in this video. I hope you enjoyed these character redraws as much as I did. If you'd like to take a shot at drawing these 3 characters in your style design, I would love to see what they look like. So tag me and the original creators in your post. Let us check it out. Well, I have to go and edit this video so I can get this uploaded to you. So until next time, God bless you guys, and we'll see you in another art video. Bye-bye!